1 Corinthians 16, verses 5 to 20. Now I will come to you when I pass through Macedonia, for I am passing through Macedonia. And it may be that I will remain, or even spend the winter with you, that you may send me on my journey wherever I go. For I do not wish to see you now on the way, but I hope to stay in a while with you, if the Lord permits. But I will tarry in Ephesus until Pentecost, for a great and effective door has opened to me, and there are many adversaries. And if Timothy comes, see that he may be with you without fear, for he does the work of the Lord, as I also do. Therefore let no one despise him, but send him on his journey in peace, that he may come to me, for I am waiting for him with the brethren. Now concerning our brother Apollos, I strongly urged him to come to you with the brethren, but he was quite unwilling to come at this time. However, he will come when he has a convenient time. Watch, stand fast in the faith, be brave and be strong. Let all that you do be done with love. I urge you, brethren, you know the household of Stephanas, that it is the first fruits of Achaia, and that they have devoted themselves to the ministry of the saints. That you also submit to such, and to anyone who works and labours with us. I am glad about the coming of Stephanas, Fortunatus, and Archaeus, for what was lacking in you, on your part, they supplied. For they refreshed my spirit and yours, therefore acknowledge such men. The church of Asia greets you. Aquila and Priscilla greet you heartily in the Lord, with the church that was in their house. All the brethren greet you. Greet one another with a holy kiss.
Those words that Bill kindly read for us about some friends of Paul. We looked at it 2 weeks ago. Last week we looked at friends of Nehemiah in the Old Testament. This week again, some friends from Paul, and maybe 1 or 2 more weeks, and we look at the subject of friends, or the friendship that they had, and the ministries that collated together to make different churches around parts of the Mediterranean. And he lists a number of names here that some will be well acquainted with, others you might never have heard of them before. The first one is Timothy. In verse, I think it's around about verse 10. Speaking about Timothy. His name means valued of God. That's a lovely little thought, isn't it? Valued of God. When people read the parables sometimes, and they read about the man who found that pearl of the greatest price and went and sold all that he had, they say that pearl, as the hymn writer said, was Christ. If you look at the other parables that surround it, it's quite clear. It's not Christ at all. It's you. You are the pearl of great price. That he went and gave everything that he had, that he might have you. What a wonderful thought, isn't it? How sudden, we appreciate what the hymn writers say to us sometimes, but sometimes they don't quite. It's suitable in some cases, I suppose it's apt to say, I found the pearl of greatest price, Christ. But in reality, you're valued of God. He thinks you're worth, not something, everything. This guy Timothy, he suffered a little bit of a complex. Paul is always talking to him. Even when he's overlooking the biggest church in Asia, Ephesus. Even when he's the elder that's overseeing the whole church, he said, look, Timothy, don't let any man despise your youth. It'll be a bit of a put down, it can be sometimes, when you're dealing with different age groups. And so Timothy is one that, he's got a lovely background. He's valued of God. And when Paul first came across him, at least the first time we think he came across him, in Acts chapter 16 it says this, the leaders that were in a city called Iconium and a city called Lystra. So the churches used to meet up with each other. The cities of Iconium and the city of Lystra, they spoke well of him. They spoke well of him. I got a feeling that's the same term when it says about the Holy Spirit concerning Jesus. He will speak well of Christ. He will bear witness to him. And it's along this line, they spoke so well about him. Not only that, when we read Timothy's letter, it's quite clear. It says the prophecies that went before you, Timothy. And what it means, literally, from what I understand, is this: the prophecies that pointed you out. So he's spoken well of. He's valued by God, valued by the leaders of the two different churches, and God himself looks at him and says, I want him to work. Now listen, he's going to be a boy that's going to be different from Paul. And we see the difficulties. You remember when we went through the book of Corinthians, the difficulties they had of the personality cult. But Paul speaks of Timothy in glowing terms. He is a completely different personality. He's not a cardboard cutout at all. Paul is an aged, but getting on in years. Timothy's a young man. Paul's fire. Timothy, he had an upset tummy. And so Paul said there about different things, about to control the temperament. Exhorted him, saying, Timothy, the servant of the Lord, must not strive, must be gentle. And Timothy had that way about him. So he had nothing to be ashamed of. We know from what Paul says about him, from a child you have known the scriptures. Not only that, but his mum Eunice had a genuine faith in Christ. A real faith in Christ, a true faith in Christ. Not only that, but his grandmother Lois had a true faith as well. We read of Eunice and Lois, mother and grandmother, having a genuine faith in Christ. And then Paul says this, and I trust also, or I'm persuaded also, Timothy, a true faith in you as well. He come from good stock in that regard, I suppose. In regards of church life, he come from good stock. He had that ground. Me, I didn't know the scriptures from my youth. Didn't have a clue. And so, just not think in your own heart, think, well, I don't know nothing about the Bible. Neither did I. But that doesn't mean you're not valued by God. You might never have darkened the church before. But that you're still valued. God so loved the world that he gave his son. He gave up everything for the world. Value of God. This is what it says about him. If Timothy comes, see he may be with you without fear. There's a couple of people in Corinth that are a little bit robust, you know what I mean? They could be a little bit robust, you know. They had a pair of shoulders on them and all that stuff. And let Timothy, when he comes to you, let him come to you without fear. For he works the work of the Lord as I do. He might do it in a different way, but I'm telling you now, he works the work of God. Don't try to do things the way I do things. Don't try to do things perhaps others might do it. You do it the way that God has given you the ability to do. He works the work of the Lord just like I do. There would have been some that said, I'm not first all day. But Paul is so glowing. We'll look again at Timothy on Tuesday night, God willing, and we see the glowing terms that he speaks of him there. We leave out Philippians, where we're looking on Tuesday night, but he speaks of Timothy here as having a true faith, being a true worker, and in a letter that he writes to him, he says, you're a true son. Lovely. Without hypocrisy, Timothy. We go on to the next one. Different kettle of fish, the next one. His name is Apollos. I suppose Apollos comes from the god Apollos, I suppose, the Greek mythology. I suppose it comes from that. But Martin means warlike, from the god of Mars. There we are. Don't cross me. But it also, I've got John as well, which means grace of God. There we are. But this is what it says about Apollos, an eloquent man, mighty in the scriptures. instructed in the way of the Lord, fervent in spirit, but with all that, knowing only the baptism of John. With all that, he could go so far, but up to this point, he had not heard the truth about Jesus. He had heard only the baptism of John, that one was coming. But it's quite clear that Apollos didn't know who would come. And so here he is, an eloquent man. I suppose, if you're going to be up front or something like that, I'd love to be known as an eloquent man. Be lovely, a better title, I suppose, mighty in the scriptures, instructed in the way of the Lord, fervent in spirit, so keen to get on in the things of God, so keen. But knowing only the baptism of John, he'd only gone so far. He'd gone further than others, but not far enough. But we read about him in that chapter in Acts 18. It says, remember that couple we looked at 2 weeks ago? Aquila and Priscilla. Remember? It says, when Aquila and Priscilla heard Apollos speak, they took him aside and showed him a more excellent way. They led him to Christ. Now Aquila was a tent maker. You see, we often think, for someone really to reach out to the professional people of this world, they've got to be professional. If you're going to have someone who would come, he was from Alexandria, one of the oldest universities in the world. It was one in Alexandria in those days. He attended the university. There was one in, I think, forget the other place, Alexandria, the other place, and the other one was Cilicia, where Paul was from. He attended the university there. And you'd think, well, surely it's going to be someone who's going to be eloquent, that can match him in intellect. But it's Aquila and Priscilla that lead him to Christ. Again, God has a wonderful way of working with people. And so we find with Apollos. At the time of writing, that Paul is writing this letter, there's a lot of dispute going on in the church at Corinth. Some were saying, of all the speakers we have, I prefer Paul. And there was another group that said, but I prefer Peter. And another group who said, I prefer Apollos. And all that was going on real up there then. Lovely. That brings it to me. That lovely eyes. Well, no. A little bird there. Shouldn't church life be about family? Shouldn't it? That's what I mean by lovely. Church life is about family. A little one. Give them a little bird. That's why we can call ourselves the family of God. I have a Father who knows my name. And he knows my name as well at the moment. So there's a lot of disputes going on. And Paul, writing to the church at Corinth, said, now, concerning our brother Apollos, I've urged him to be with you, but he'll have none of it at the moment. He will come at a more convenient time. I wonder if Apollos was unwilling to add to the fires of dispute. Sometimes, when people have opportunity to add to the fire, to add to the contention, to elevate themselves perhaps, there was a chance here for Apollos to get down there, look. But he'll have none of it at the moment. He will come at a more convenient time. Eloquent, mighty, instructed, now knowing Christ, but he's not going to add to the fires of dispute. What a wonderful attitude to have, isn't it? Lovely attitude to have. Then we have this one, in verse 15. The household of Stephanas. You remember when we come across this phrase, household of Stephanas, it means one of two things. One, either Stephanas is away, or two, Stephanas has died. And so the household of Stephanas. This is what it says about them. They are the first fruits of Achaia. That's the big province. These were the first converts to Paul's message of the gospel that first responded. and have devoted themselves to the ministry of the saints. In the Old King James, in the Authorized Version, it says, have addicted themselves. It means they have appointed themselves. They have set themselves. As a general will set an army in battle, they have set themselves. What that means is this. They've sat down and they've considered. And they've tried to find where there is a need. I wondered if news of Phoebe coming from the sister church in Sanctuary, remember the girl that was down the docks? That worked amongst those that had no rights at all? I wondered if news had got to them or vice versa. News had got to Phoebe about their ministry. But this household sat down and thought, what can we do to help? That's a question to ask ourselves, isn't it? What can we do? I know. Let's devote ourselves. Let's set ourselves. Let's appoint ourselves. Sounds almost brutish or braggish, doesn't it? Let's set ourselves to the ministry, the service of the saints. That's what they addicted themselves to. Their testimony was this, that they served people. It's a lovely way to look at it. Well, a household of Stephanus. Verse 17, these different names. I'm glad at the coming of Stephanus, so he hasn't passed away. What they've done, Stephanus was one of the 3 men that brought the letter that Corinth had sent to Paul to ask various questions of what to do. And Stephanus is with Paul now. So Stephanus, he is still there, but he's here with Paul. His name means, bearing in mind what his ministry is, he's devoted himself to serving those in need, those in the church of God. That's what he set himself to. His name means crown. Crown. It's a lovely little setting here. We said about it the other week, if you want to be great in God's kingdom, if you want to have a crown, learn to be the servant of all. Learn to be the servant of all. And so Stephanus, Fortunatus, his name means lucky. Lucky. Oh, lucky. And Achaicus. Well, they named him after the area he was from. He was, what did they say? Wait. Ruth, forgive me this, and Carol. Cardiff born, Cardiff bred. Strawberry arm, thick in the head. All right. Good job you didn't do that. It was a compliment through and through. That's what I mean. Cardiff born, Cardiff bred. Achaeus born, Achaeus bred. He was there. If you cut him through like a stick of rock, he'd have Achaeus written right through it. He was one of those boys. The 3 of them had come up together. See what Paul says about them. He couples them all together. They make up for not seeing you. Seeing them, I can picture you. They're a tonic both to me and to you. They're a breath of fresh air. What a wonderful thing to have. A breath of fresh air. These 3 boys that come up. So they're not all bad. Are they? Joyce as well, Phil as well, Sue as well. You can't pronounce it? Oh, I. It's a lovely city. You might want to
We wouldn't move back, man.
There we are. Just a breath of fresh air. You come across people like that. If someone said that to you, Joe, it's just been so good to see you. You've made my day today. Just seeing you. Just sitting down chatting. Just giving me time. Just to talk a little while. Just to have someone with me. You've been a breath of fresh air. That's what it's like for these 3 boys. The three musketeers, we could call them, kind of coming up from Corinth, across the sea to Ephesus. Verse 19, the churches of Asia salute you. We lift up our hands to you, we salute you. And then it calls our own two friends, Aquila and Priscilla. They greet you heartily in the Lord. There they are again, look. And the church that is in their house. Remember when they went in, Paul wrote to Rome? He said, greet Aquila and Priscilla and the church that was in their house. They had a church in Rome. Then they moved from Rome and came to Ephesus, or vice versa. And the church that is in their house, we send greetings to you. This is the couple that led Apollos to Christ. And there they gather together. Now look who's there in Ephesus, where this little letter is written from. Paul is there, Timothy's there, Apollos is there, Stephanas is there, Fortunatus is there, Achaicus is there, and Aquila and Priscilla are there. What a group to have together. I wonder what they talked about. When they sat down and tried to resolve all the difficulties, Stephanas would come up and say, Paul, when you read that letter, you'll be gutted with what you see. How people have lost their way. They sat down and they talked and they planned and they thought and they prayed. What it is to have friends together like this. People who will stand shoulder to shoulder and tuck in behind each other. Paul's heart's yearning that Corinth would come forward and the church would progress. And his people, I said, Paul said, Paul, I'm not going down now. If I go down now, it's going to add to the problems. Timothy, I don't feel like going down, Paul. I don't really, honestly now, I've been down there once, and you know the hassle I had down there. But yeah, to go back again, Timothy, you've got to go. Stephanas, he couldn't wait to get back, because he'd addicted himself to the service of the church. Just loved to be there. Just loved to be amongst them, to do something amongst them. Aquila and Priscilla. What it is when God's people comes together. Friends. Together. Friends. It's a lovely title to that comedy show, isn't it? Friends. They were on $1 million a show, each of the stars on it. $1 million a show. Friends. Without payment here, can we be friends? Can we serve together? As a family, as a church, as a fellowship, whatever you want to call it. Bind us together with cords that cannot be broken. Oh, to see Paul and Apollos together there. How easy it would have been for them to be in disarray. They prefer me, they prefer you. But they're there working together, making plans for the church at Corinth. Well, may God grant us such friendships in this day.